guys have Minnesota sports flowing in their veins. Mackey and Judd on Score North and ScoreNorth.com.
Write this down. Write it down. You like writing things down.
Well, the drama here is, will Declan's old work computer that we need to upgrade carry him to the finish line of these Write That Down predictions? Stick around to find out. And will Declan's patience be able to hold on over the course of this episode?
A lot going on in Dex's house. I feel like the hat trick would be a Vinny meltdown.
Oh, let's
your
go,
wife's
Vinny.
Upstairs walking around making noise. Your computer's
got the garage
not
door.
working
Remember,
great.
I got the garage door guy coming here in the next hour. A lot of stuff going on today.
That's right.
A lot of stuff going on.
Oh, and when he comes, Vinny will go off the hook.
Mm-hmm.
And if anyone handles stress calmly, it's Declan Goff.
Declan Goff.
So, hey, the Twins win again last night.
Oh, yeah.
They're beating up on a bad baseball team, and they're going to come home after not playing a home game for about 4 years, it seems like. And you can get tickets, Dex.
Yeah, twins.com. You get those 612 Saturdays, which you can experience this weekend against Toronto, who always travels really well. That's $6 drinks, $1 snacks, $2 foods. Go to twins.com. Plus, you can check out the all-new My Twins membership, which includes benefits, ticket flexibility, and year-round Twins access. Go to twins.com to learn more.
You know what? The only thing Target Field is missing is Pep's Legit Pizza. That is if I could wave a magic wand. They got a lot of good food options there. I would say one more little booth or like portable stand where you're just slinging the best frozen pizza on the market, according to at least this pizza expert. That stone-baked, cracker-thin, crunchy crust, multiple different topping options. I personally love the sausage and mushroom. Cut that thing into squares like a good Minnesotan. You can find legit pizzas at a store near you, a frozen section in a grocery store near you, and have an authentic at-home pizza parlor experience.
Write this down.
All right, dudes, the OG edition of Write That Down here, where we are the only show going back over a decade that actually puts statistics next to our predictions like a bunch of idiots. It's 3 predictions from everybody each week. They must be quantifiable. We keep track of batting averages and home runs. And listeners, if you want to be like Brad and participate, you can send Declan a message through the Score North app, and we'll get you in the mix. Kind of a bloodbath here, gentlemen. Be prepared.
Okay.
Feast your eyes. We'll start with Judd. I don't think Judd's spoken a word yet.
No, and I'm not going to talk anymore. I'm just going to seethe.
It's only giving my internet PTSD when you're not speaking, by the way. So I would prefer if you spoke. Just FYI.
Just sitting there
for
a half hour.
Just miming.
So Judd said the Wolves would win in 5, and Julius Randle would have 20 or more points. He did have 20 or more points, but he didn't start playing until they were down by 31.
Yeah, I don't deserve that win. That's a well-earned defeat by me. That was the most disingenuous performance of all time.
You said the Wolves would be called for at least one flagrant foul on SGA in that series.
Disappointed they weren't.
That one got reviewed, the one where Jaden got impatient and pissed and kind of shoved him over.
Yes, he did. That's true. And that should have been a flagrant, damn it.
Yeah.
Good point.
And then you said Byron Buxton would steal third base at least once by June 1st. He does have 10 steals of second base.
It remains amazing that the stat is that he does not have he has not stolen third base in his career, correct?
I think that's true.
That's an amazing thing to me.
He also, I don't think, has a 2020 season at any point in his career, despite being an incredible power hitter and one of the fastest players in baseball.
Yep.
He had the one where it was 16 homers and 29 steals. And then there was a year where he hit, was it 30 homers, but they didn't green light him at all. So he had single digit steals.
Yep.
He's got 10 and 10 right now with 4 months to go. So I think if he can stay healthy, 30-30 is probably a little aggressive at this point, but 2020, see. Okay.
Oh boy.
Oh, this is okay. Because I was gonna say 0 for 3 is not great. I wouldn't say bloodbath, but 0
for 7 here for old Macadac.
Oh, old Macadac is.
He said, or I said, in Game 5, Anthony Edwards would drop 30 or more and/or record a triple-double.
Third person. Disassociate yourself from yourself on this. It's very smart. And
Old
then
man.
he said,
Old Macadac said the Wolves would force a Game 7. Then he opined that the Wolves would play the Knicks in the NBA Finals. At some point in the Western Conference Finals, Mike Breen would deliver the famous double bang, the rare bang, jumps out of his seat. I think the first ever double bang was the Steph Curry regular season half-court winner against Oklahoma City, like 10 years ago.
oh, God, that'd be...
Bang! Bang!
Yep.
He's pretty stingy. He doesn't give out the bang very often.
Nor should he.
Micah Nori would be credibly linked to the Denver Nuggets head coaching job. He was linked to the Phoenix job, and now he's being linked to the Knicks job because he's got some experience with Karl Anthony Towns, who's now gotten Tom Thibodeau fired twice.
There was an odds list of like next Knicks coaches, and Micah Nori, I'm not kidding, was just above Stephen A. Smith. Now it was like plus 5,000 for Stephen A. Smith to be the next Knicks head coach. But he was on a list, and right behind Micah Nori was Stephen A. Smith.
There is a better chance that Stephen A. is our next president.
Oh, yeah.
Than the Knicks coach.
Yes.
That is
being
probably
president.
Statistically true.
Yes.
There's a better chance that he is running the United States of America than running the New York Knicks.
Oh, man. I love that there's like a legitimate possibility that he runs for not by when I say I love, I mean love in like a hilarious, oh my God, the world is coming to an end way. Not like I want him to be president.
Yep.
At some point this season, I said Anthony Edwards would drop at least 60 points in a game. They could have used those 60 in game 5. Probably still went to 1. And I said the Wolves would play in the NBA Finals in 2024-25. Another bloodbath here from the listeners.
Oh my God, this is an all-timer, gentlemen.
It's really bad. Yeah,
so you were
Alex,
0 for 7, Phil?
Yeah.
I was 0 for 3.
And the listeners are also 0 for 7. Jeez. So what's that? 0 for 17.
Hey.
Alex said Ant would drop 40 and the Wolves would win game 5. Logan said the Wolves would advance to the NBA Finals and play the Knicks and will dunk on Cat. He's getting savaged by these podcasts and radio shows.
This is what happens when you go to New York, a real market where they dump on you. Like, we don't do that here.
Yeah, I was like the closest, and I called him a clown after the Memphis series 3 years ago, and complain about his fouls and his general catness. But what he's going through right now with the New York and national media is pretty next level.
And let's keep in mind too, you said that, but you had no support.
Oh like no, I was on a hater island. Yeah,
correct. But you were on.
Even you were like, it might be a bridge too far.
The media was like, he is absolutely finding out, and he probably knew what playing for the Knicks could be like.
Yeah, I think there's with Tibbs being gone, I guess they could lean into a coach that feels like they can get the pieces to. It's wild that they fired Tibbs.
Well,
there's a lot of things about Tibbs that kind of drive you crazy, but that franchise has been a disaster for a quarter century.
Yeah.
And he breathed life into it.
I'm willing to bet that privately at the exit meetings with Leon Rose and the boys, that a lot of players said, I don't think I want to play here if he's coaching here.
Oh. Yeah, Mikal Bridges had some stuff to say.
Yep.
Caleb said the Wolves would win the title in 2025 and the Vikings would win a combined 3 championships by the end of 2030. This was setting up for an epic bad beat if like the Wolves won the title and then he still had the second leg of this parlay to clear too. But it's all gone now. Alex said the Wolves would play the Thunder in the Western Conference Finals and Ant would outperform SGA based on Basketball Reference game score. It was not close. Shane said Anthony Edwards will have at least 2 game winners in the playoffs. Craig said Ant would drop 50 points in a playoff game. And Devin said Anthony Edwards would have a 50-point game at some point this year, and the Wolves would win that game. He had one 50-point game against the Pistons. They lost it. Whew. Declan with the only correct prediction of anyone this week here, and we'll get to it after the two bad ones. You said Ant would put up at least 25 field goal attempts in Game 5, and SGA would shoot at least 15 free throws in Game 5. Both of those were wrong. But you did say Matty Wallner would hit a dinger in his first game back from injury with the Twins, and that is a dinger itself.
All right.
Nice.
So salvaging something there. So on the season, after that disaster, I'm at 273. Listeners at 262. Judd and Dex both tied at 245. All four parties have 3 home runs apiece. So it's tightening up here. The season runs from Super Bowl to Super Bowl, so we still have plenty of time. Career stats, Declan leads with a 342 average. Judd, 365 career hits. Listeners with 73 career home runs. That was Declan's 50th career home run.
Two of us
I've
did
been-
50 home runs.
I was off. I got off to a real slow start here, and now just like the Twins. Don't let Dex get hot. That's what they say on the golf course too. When I don't duff a shot, don't let Dex get hot.
Oh, he might find a way to bogey this
Yeah,
hole.
might double this one. Yep.
So, Phil, what did you and the listeners drop from last week to your current?
I was at 320 somewhere in there,
Okay.
and the listeners were like 293 somewhere in that. Like we both dropped. Like I dropped probably 40 or 50 points. Listeners dropped like 30 points.
Okay.
And Declan was under 100 for a while and is slowly climbing his way back up.
Yeah.
So yeah, listen, I had a huge lead at one point here. I've squandered it, and now my confidence is shaken. I just need like a Royce Lewis kind of like off balance double to the gap that clears the bases to get myself back rocking here.
Write this down.
So without further ado, let's bring Brad in here. Brad is our guest listener predictor, ready to rock. Brad, what's going on, man? What's your background as a Minnesota sports fan?
Yes, I live out on the western side of Minnesota, out west of Alexandria, so out here in the prairie. And I think, just like someone last week said, I think Torrey Hunter is who got me in love with Minnesota sports, those early 2000 Twins. That's what hooked me.
Yeah, those were fun teams. Little did we know how good we had it, I feel like when they went to the ALCS, it's like, oh, they got this young nucleus for 10 years, and then they like didn't win a playoff game. Well, they won 2 playoff games, I guess, in
Took
03 and
years.
04, but yeah.
Yeah, those dome teams were so fun to watch. All the Christian Guzman, Luis Rivas, everybody. I mean, it was just so fun when you're a young kid.
Piranhas.
Well, and plus, post 92, basically, those teams in the 90s were so atrocious that they built up a nice team. Because I remember it was 2000 that Kelly got them back to a semblance of respectability, and then it took off. But like if you went through 94 essentially to 99, man, those were some dark years too. Some dark years, some great names because of the veteran slappies they'd sign and then try to trade away. But yeah, those teams were fun. I still remember being at the game at the Dome when Hunter got sent down early in his career. He got off to a horrific start, and there were expectations. They weren't huge, but there were expectations. He got sent down, and he came back and was good, but there were some trying times in Twins territory. By the way, can we stop with that? Everything's Twins territory.
Why don't you like Twins territory?
Because everything's like Twins territory. Oh, those people are having fun in Twins territory. It's like the state of hockey in Twins territory. Can we just be normal? Like, we're not the state of hockey and Twins territory.
I mean, we're not the state of hockey. What,
This is
Michigan, Massachusetts? What do you mean?
Because the Wild claimed that name. It's not an organic name. The Wild labeled it. It's marketing genius, but it's the Wild name. The state of hockey. Give me a freaking break.
Here's the thing. I agree with Judd. I feel like we need to put the state of hockey thing in timeout. If you can't get out of the first round of the playoffs, for God's sakes,
Right.
for like
I don't
a
care
decade,
about your high school. At that point in time, your high school tournament. Yeah, exactly right. If you're NHL team,
just because
can't get out of the first round.
there's more like pond hockey being played because we have a lot of frozen lakes and stuff. The Wild should have to earn that state of hockey label back by getting to the Stanley Cup Finals.
Good. Yeah,
it should be earned, not given.
Yep.
We need to punish this team.
I love where you're going. I love where your head's at right now. Punish is a great word.
All right, back to Brad here. We're going to start with you and then over to Judd, Dex, and then I'll round it out. We'll make 3 trips around the room. So if you're ready to make your first prediction, Brad,
Write this down.
fire away.
So I'm going to start off light with something easy. So I really like how the Twins have been playing the last couple weeks, and especially since they've been turning the offense on. So I'm going to finish Declan's prediction from last week of 6 in a row, and I'm going to predict that they sweep the Blue Jays this weekend, returning home after the cross-country road trip.
Wow. So they could wind up sweeping the A's in 4, and this could be a 7-game little win streak you're predicting here.
Watching the A's is difficult. I will say that.
And then watching the A's in a minor league. Would you rather watch the A's in a minor league stadium or the dumpy Oakland Coliseum?
Coliseum.
Easy.
I actually think aesthetically the Oakland Coliseum is like worse to watch baseball in than the minor league stadium.
Yeah, I think
Is there
The unnecessary foul territory and stuff. It's just kind of
that Little League park, the mound is a disaster. Like I know Pablo left it a shoulder issue, which is a problem in its own right. But like Joe Ryan had a problem with it. Look at Luis Severino's splits away from that ballpark and at that ballpark. They are extreme. Like that field should have no business hosting a major league team for 81 games.
But I wondered this from the start. I know he got paid a bit, but what was Luis Severino doing going to the A's?
Well,
I would have gone to just about any other team beyond like Tampa.
what's he making?
Like he knew what he was doing because they took him to that ballpark.
The owner was trying to prove that they spend money, it can expedite a ballpark thing. So they gave a guy a bunch of cash.
And he was like one of the first free agents off the board, wasn't he? He came up right away.
He was.
Wow, it's a 3-year, like $67 million. Well, there's a player option on the back end of it, but yeah, that's okay.
Is there a tree down the first base, like beyond first base? I swear when they did a shot of the berm, I saw like a tree.
Maybe
like overhanging into play.
No. Down the first, so like off to where the berm is there. I thought I saw a tree on the berm. It's not hanging into play, but my point is, like, you just don't see that in baseball stadiums.
No, we'll have Dex look that up.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome, Phil. Like it's like wiffle ball rules. Like if it hits the tree and falls back into the field,
it's a double.
Goes off the bark. If it goes off the bark, it's a double. If it gets lost in the that would be good.
I love it. Wiffle ball. They should just play wiffle ball, actually, in that. It's the
hand?
one stadium where you play actual wiffle ball, and it counts as a major league game in that stadium. So, all right, Brad. Wait, we just got Brad's prediction.
Yeah,
over to Judd. Judd's first prediction.
It's me. Okay, so Royce Lewis, bases loaded double. I think it was damn near a home run last night, a grand slam, which, by the way, the Twins and Dodgers, the only two teams in baseball left that don't have a grand slam this season. But write this down. I'm not going to make this prediction for June, but I think he's going to come back here. I think he's going to get his act together. Frequent watcher of the show, so Royce, do not let me down.
Do you have to literally mention that every single time?
Yes.
I'm
talking to you, Royce. I'm talking to you, Royce. Royce Lewis will hit over 300 and have 5 or more home runs in July.
Oh, you're skipping past June.
Yeah. I think it's going to take some time still. Like, I think he's starting to get it. But I think when July 1st comes, he's going to be on a heater. And I think he's going to carry that out through the month of July. I think we're going to see a hot Royce in July.
Yeah, we'll have 5 days off, right? We'll have probably 4 or 5 days off because of the break.
Yep.
2, which kind of helps.
Yep.
Also, so that ball would have been a grand slam at Target Field, and it would have been a grand slam in 16 of the 30 ballparks.
Really?
Mm-hmm. That would have been a grand slam in over half the ballparks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Write this down.
Old Dexter.
All right, I'll make a grand slam one. I already went to this well once. I was unsuccessful, but I'm gonna make it again and up it though. The Twins will hit multiple grand slams in the month of June. Wow. Multiple. They'll get hot twice. They'll hit multiple grand slams in the month of June. Write it down.
The Twins Kool-Aid right now.
Saving them up.
Just stack. Try to save one for like August if you could. Maybe like early September, based on the last couple of years. Okay.
Write this down.
All right, you guys. I'll take a bite at the Twins positivity apple here. I think Judd is dismissing the importance of that mind clearing and almost bases clearing double from Royce Lewis yesterday. That you think it's going to be like the start of this slow matriculation to July, and then he's going to explode in July. the weight that probably came off that dude's mind and shoulders when that ball landed, and it was a double. It wasn't a seeing eye single. It's a double. He was a little off balance, but he stayed back enough, got the barrel on the ball. Write this down. Royce Lewis homers in his next game. I'm assuming it's tonight, but I'll just say he homers in his next game. Okay. I think it's very with how talented he is, if he can just get that feeling back, and that may have done it last night. More than like an infield single. Sometimes like guys just need to get on base. And for him, I think he needed to hit a ball to the warning track and score a couple runs to really get that feeling. So
Write this
he
down.
homers in his next game. Write that down. All right, Brad, back to you. Second prediction.
All right, so Corey Koski's going into the Twins Hall of Fame in August, I think on the 17th. So I'm going to predict the next 2 Twins Hall of Famers after that. So first, Dick Bremer. I think that one is obvious. I'm guessing that could have happened this summer if they would have been more sure on the ownership situation.
What did they do with him? Did they name like the press box after him or something?
The television broadcast booth. But I think
well earned.
But I believe what they do now is they go back and forth between player years and off the field, like executives, broadcaster years. So Bremer, I think, would probably go in this winter. So it's still right. But I think they started to rotate the players because they've got a lot in now, and it's not always obvious that a player deserves to go in. So,
and I think he's deciding between a couple different people and Judd to do the official induction speech, like the intro speech before he gets up there, right? So, just be thinking about ideas for your address.
No, I'm not going near this.
Write this down.
All right, Judd, second prediction.
Oh, no. Did you say you said 2 names? Right?
Oh, sorry. Bremer and who? Sorry, my bad.
Sorry,
Yep, Bremer's the first one, and then the second one, and I'm afraid that Smalley will beat me out for this, but it's Brian Dozier. Brian Dozier's 10th all-time in Twins home runs. He has a Gold Glove and All-Star, and eventually they're going to run out of shoo-ins. And I think Dozier, like with his personality, he led those young Twins teams. Like he'd be a good fit, and what a weekend if they're inducting Dozier into the Hall of Fame.
No, that's so true. No one sober for 48 hours.
No tall boy is safe in the entire metro area.
Morneau and Plouffe would be rough on the broadcast the day after.
Oh God, yeah.
Boy, I would pay a hefty sum of money for the episode of the Score North Twin Show where Judd talks about Brian Dozier and Dick Bremer being the next 2 Twins inducted into the Hall of Fame.
The only thing I'll say is Brad is right. Like they're at, unless Smalley, there's a couple of guys left, old school guys that could go in, but they're not like shoo-ins at this point in time.
Like put Shane Mack in, put some guys in that have a ring.
Smalley could go in.
Well, Smalley has a ring, player. 87.
Yeah. Smalley could go in.
But they did hit a really rough patch. The cupboards were pretty bare there between like 2011 and because you got the Mauer, Morneau, Kadire, like those guys were already in.
Yeah.
And then it was a long, like Nelson Cruz. Would you put Nelson Cruz or Jim Thome or something?
Really good, but no.
I wouldn't.
Josh
The one that will
Donaldson.
be interesting in the future will be Kepler eventually because he has a lot of stats.
A lot of stats
played a long time.
And is very loved. Like they believed in him for a very long time. He's right. There's a path where that does happen.
I don't know if I'd vote for him.
I'm shocked that you wouldn't vote for him.
I don't know if I'd vote for him. And I get a vote. Let's just say I get a vote.
I'm more on Judd's side. Like you can't just like put people in because I guess this is the best person on the board this year. Like there should be a standard of.
Here's a question: do you ever reconsider now Chuck Knobloch?
Knobloch.
Yeah, well, he's one of the best 20
made
Twins
it.
players of all time.
Supposed to go in.
He was supposed to go in, and then there was some type of issue, and they yanked it. But what I'm saying is, I don't know if he's gotten his act together. I don't know because he's had a weird life. I mean, he's been a troubled dude. So because he does. I mean, as a player, he deserved it.
It's tough because it's like some of it is it 100% based on their playing career or if they're a jackass and they don't represent the franchise? It's like
write this down.
Anyways, back to Dex. Your next prediction.
Judd.
It's me.
Oh, sorry. I checked Judd off after. Well, we keep getting on these side tangents.
You become Mike Conley. Like you're good,
Listen,
but you're not.
I've definitely messed up 3 times on this episode. It's hard keeping track of these side
It
tangents
is.
and whose turn it is.
It is. It is.
All right.
Okay,
Have some
Mike.
sympathy for
You
me.
just missed a shot.
I got
You just
you.
missed another shot.
I got you.
Give me the ball. Okay, give me the ball. The Wolves, write this down. The Wolves will acquire Kevin Durant this offseason, but they will not give up Jaden McDaniels in the trade.
Yeah.
So
Let's do it. In.
I think it's what Conley wants. And I also think that, as we discussed on Flagrant Howls yesterday, I don't know that anyone's going to blow you away for a guy who is in his late 30s going into the last year of his contract. So I think Jaden McDaniel stays, but I think they do get Durant. And I think they probably give up some young players that we had hoped for, but certainly would not be outraged about.
Write this down.
Love where you're going there. All right, Dex.
All right, write this down. At least 2 Twins pitchers will be named to the AL All-Star team. Will be named. Now, there could be a backdooring here where one guy gets on the initial roster, backs out, another guy comes. I think this happened to me last year where I did a little workaround. But I think Joe Ryan's up there. Duran's having a hell of a year.
Yeah.
Pablo with the shoulder now. I don't know. But I could see a couple different scenarios where Duran and Ryan are probably your favorites. Maybe, hell, if Chris Paddock gets pitching like this, maybe he's starting the All-Star game. But at least 2 Twins pitchers get to the All-Star game. Named to the All-Star game.
Paddock has legitimately been one of the best starting pitchers in baseball since his 3rd start.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty crazy. I mean, I saw it coming the whole time.
Write this
Yep,
down.
me too.
Okay, write this down. Timberwolves speculative prediction here. I think the Wolves move on from Rudy Gobert. So I will say Rudy Gobert will not be a Timberwolf for the first regular season game. I'm trying to like not screw myself. The only way that this would happen is a trade. So I'll say Rudy Gobert gets traded by the first game of the regular season.
Okay.
Right now. They can't cut him. It's not football. He's still valuable, but he's not the same dude he was a couple years ago. And I think Tim Connolly is pretty set on the record with his actions of being a year early versus a year late on getting rid of players. D'Lo, great example. Karl Anthony Towns, even like Jared Vanderbilt and like Pat Beverly and some of those guys. He'd rather be a year early and take advantage than a year late. And because a lot of teams don't have cap space to sign players, there's going to be more trade discussions and like sign-in trades and things like that. So I'll just say Gobert traded right now.
Write this down.
All right, Brad, your third and final prediction.
Final one is a Vikings-related one, but it's a football one overall. So the Lions have a lot going on, and they were at the top of the mountain. They just lost Ragnow to retirement. I think Ben Johnson, them losing that, I think he was the straw that stirred the drink. And I think the Campbell culture, like, that's probably great when you're the underdog, but when things start to go wrong, I'd be curious how that goes. And here's the Lions' early schedule. So Packers, week 1, Ravens, week 3, Bengals, week 5, Chiefs, week 6, Bucks, week 7, bye, Vikings, week 9, Commanders, week 10, Eagles, week 11. So write this down. The Detroit Lions will miss the 25-26 NFL playoffs.
Wow.
Lions slander coming from this show.
Wow, dude. It's crazy. Yeah. Well, I mean, Dex was the first on the bandwagon, got savaged on the internet, and like I came in on Purple Daily and made a prediction, and yeah, like they've lost a lot of key pieces. So, Brad, awesome predictions here. You brought the noise. Since you've got this platform, is there anyone you'd like to thank or shout out in your life?
I got to do the typical and thank my wife for letting me watch the sports while the kids are getting put to bed. Let me stay up late for the Timberwolves series and making sure the kids get to bed. And thank you guys for giving me something to listen to every day at work.
Thank you.
Brad, thank you for being a listener and a viewer. Appreciate you. Hopefully we can get you on again sometime. And good luck with your predictions.
Thank you, guys.
All right, there he is, guest listener, predictor Brad. We'll make our 3 final predictions in a moment here. MSP Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. Here's a prediction.
Yep.
They will come out and they will fix whatever's wrong with your air conditioning this summer.
And guess what? It's getting to be hot out, right? Muggy days are coming here. It's going to be in the 80s. Eventually, it's probably going to be in the 90s. And what you don't want is you don't want to turn on that air conditioning in your home and find out that, guess what? It's not working efficiently. Perhaps it is not working at all. That's the worst case. MSP Plumbing, Heating, and Air is going to make sure that the worst case never happens, though. Their service is absolutely outstanding. They're going to be out there quickly. They're going to fix whatever is wrong. Plumbing as well. So you know what? There's nothing worse than a plumbing problem. Those are hard to fix. MSP can take care of that as well. Check out their website. Call MSP.com or give them a call, 651-615-4292. Call MSP.com. You want your house to be as comfortable as possible? So do the folks at MSP Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
Hey, Dennis Kirk is powering these predictions here today as well. And coming up this weekend, Saturday, June 7th, is the second annual Minnesota Garage Build Bike Show, presented and powered by Dennis Kirk. It's free to register your bike and to attend. It's open to garage builders, so the folks who've been working hard on their rides in your garages, looking for the opportunity to show off your work, you can bring that bike out to the second annual Minnesota Garage Build Bike Show. Again, powered by Dennis Kirk this Saturday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. DennisKirk.com for some more details.
Write this down.
All right, Judd's third and final prediction.
All right, I'm going to get a couple people fired here. I think it's worthy. I think it's appropriate, and it's that time of year. So Ron Washington and or Alex Cora will both be fired by the end of the season as the managers of the Angels and Red Sox, respectively. So either both, but at least one will be fired. The Red Sox are a disaster. They are absolutely... Cora basically ripped them following last night's loss. The Angels were terrible. Then they had like a big winning streak, and now they're back to not being good. So I think both of those guys are in trouble.
Boy, the Angels, yeah. When I think of the Angels' problems the last 15 years, I think, boy, if they just finally found the right manager, that would be the...
Write this
Well,
down.
and then Wash can go back to the Braves and be the third base coach because they just blew out their third base coach, or they
Baseball's
moved
hilarious.
him, and they hired Freddie Gonzalez, who, if I'm not mistaken, managed the Braves at one time to be their third base coach.
It's great. I love baseball. Just scapegoating the third base coach, the hitting
It's
coach
the
of
OC.
Texas.
Yeah, it's the same, right? It's coordinators in football and hitting coaches and third base coaches in baseball.
Yeah, of which the influence of an offensive coordinator in football compared to like the influence of a third base coach or a hitting coach in
Got to
Major
duck,
League.
man. You got to duck if you're in
All right,
charge.
Dex, your third and final prediction.
Yeah, write
Write
this
this
down.
down.
He was named, I believe, the Twins minor league player of the month in May. He already got promoted to Double-A, but Gabriel Gonzalez, acquired in the Jorge Polanco trade, he'll be playing with the Saints in the month of July. He will be playing with the Saints at some point in the month of July. Little auto right there, huh? Little Gabby
Wow,
Gonzalez.
You got the card.
So is that
Little
real?
Gabby
Stock
Gonzalez.
low.
It's the top certified one, so like they have certified autographs on some guys.
Oh, that's nice.
Did he actually sign that, or is it like a
It's like
a digital copy of his signature?
yeah,
How does that work?
it's like a digital copy, but those are the ones that hold like more value, and then there's also ones that are numbered. That one's not numbered, but there's
That
also
card
ones
is
that are
worth
numbered.
$2,000 right now, Phil.
$5. Hopefully, it turns to $10.
It might at some point be worth more money.
Hall of
if he-
Famer
he
in
pays
waiting,
out.
Declan.
Okay, final prediction here. Write this down.
Write this down.
This is kind of an in the weeds Anthony Edwards prediction, but I think he's going to go to the lab this summer here. And I'm looking at like Basketball Reference has the different zones that you shoot in here, and his mid-range game, his midi as they call it,
Yeah.
has been lacking compared to some of the other top players, SGA in particular, right?
Like Shea?
Yeah. So Anthony Edwards, for his career, is a 37% mid-range, meaning 10 to 16 feet. There's some other, there's 3 to 10 feet. But specifically 10 to 16 feet, he's 37% for his career, and he's 34% last year. Write this down. Anthony Edwards, in the first, I'll say the first 25 games of his first 25 games next year, will be over 40% from the 10 to 16 foot range. I'm trying to quantify.
Wow.
He will go to the lab and fix
Yeah.
this problem this
Wow,
summer.
You're really in the lab.
But I can't just say he's going to develop a mid-range shot because, how do we quantify
He'll be
that?
the man when it comes to the
Karl
mid-range
Anthony
game.
Towns will be the man. Call back to 9 years ago on the old radio show. All right, boys. That's the end of our prediction journey here. The OG edition of Write That Down on Minnesota Sports with Mackey and Judd. Flagger and Howell's YouTube channel, brand new. Subscribe to that. We'll see you for some scoops tomorrow.